It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Here on the very tip of Africa, we are inspired by so much culture, and really our street style is a melting pot of different styles, different cultures, different races, and different ways that people put their looks together. So I want to know tonight, what inspires our local designers? Is it global or is it African that they turn to when they're designing their collections?
Designer Korbla Dzotsky re-engineers traditional suiting with unique style for the man who's not afraid to try something unconventional.
Korbla, tell us about your collection here this evening.
You know, it kind of started off very much about looking at the primary colours, you know, red, green and blue. Taking the spectrum, trying to work with some of the colours and fuse them as we went through the collection. Actually, you would have seen some linens, which we're really keen on this season. You know, it's breathable. You saw quite a lot of that on the waistcoats. And then we worked with very lightweight cotton for the shirting.
How much you get caught up with international inspiration versus, what you see around you, and how does this kind of influence your designs?
I keep checking myself over and over again to make what we create here relevant to here. Others are taking influence from Africa to Europe, and we often take influence the other way around as well. So it's a bit of a cycle.
And we see a lot of streetwear collections, a lot of really edgy menswear collections here at Fashion Week, and yet you are still representing gentlemen's tailoring. How do you maintain this craft?
I think what you'll find is that we try and fuse it. So you'll see inflections of street in a lot of the formalities of what we presented, and making it more contemporary, making it more relevant.
Julian Phillips's spring-summer collection revealed a fresh vision on modern basics, combining a clean color palette with sophisticated tailoring.
I'm backstage with Julia Phillips. Julia, when it comes to inspirations, you look more to global trend, or would you say you're more inspired by African street style?
It's a variety of different things. So I look at trends, I look at things that inspire me, music, culture, and then I come up with kind of like an idea of what I want my collection to look like.
Beautiful collection this evening. I really love those interesting details that you put into that construction. Tell me how you kind of thought through those patterns and the different silhouettes that you had this evening.
I wanted to create something that was very ready to wear, but I wanted to play around with the shapes a little bit. I wanted to play around with asymmetry and still keep it very masculine but soft at the same time.
And when it came to, a spring-summer collection, what was important to you to represent in this line?
I wanted to use really light fabrics. I used a lot of cottons, a lot of linens, silks, things that were very light and very breathable, that could translate as feminine but could still look very masculine at the same time.
Rich Mnisi's fashion brand Earth has a global aesthetic which could exist seamlessly in any of the world's fashion capitals.
Are you inspired more by global trends or more what the South African guy is wearing on the street?
I think both. I think you can't limit yourself to just global or local. You have to just look at everything, and that's when something original will come out of it.
Rich, tell us about your collection tonight, how you pulled together all your influences for this amazing collection.
The collection was inspired by Smeg fridge, the refrigerator. So just in the shapes of the jacket and the color palette, that blue and the orange and the silvers that came in through the zips and all those decorative elements.
And there was definitely an amazing cross-section of fabrics tonight. Does your selection of fabric drive the sort of designs that you do, or is it the other way around?
I start with the designs, then I go into fabrication. There's suitings in there and there's Egyptian cotton, so I just threw on a bunch of fabrics but made sure that the result is a cohesive collection.
The verdict's in. When it comes to inspiration, Africa calls the world home.